modern network architecture is a couple of big things. I think the first thing is a lot of times we look at it as it's software defined, using new current principles for centralized management. The other big thing these days is being super flexible and dynamic. And then last, but probably the most important now, is security has to be first and foremost and built into it, versus traditional is security is an afterthought. Management, everything is box by box and manual. And it's just a lot of work to kind of get to where we are now in this new world that's definitely automated. Identity these days is super important and critical. And it's important because as we implement security controls in the network, everything relies around identity. So we're implementing zero trust network access architectures. Everybody's got a zero trust initiative. That means identity. User identity is pretty easy and pretty straightforward. A lot of people have that part covered. Now what we've been working on is, well, how do we get identities on all the machines on the network? The robots, the patient monitors, the printers, the cameras, all those other things that don't have a real identity. Those are the areas that we've been focused on solving for customers. Centralized management, automation, security visibility, all those items have been coming along for the ride as we implement new technology. This new software-defined infrastructure has a lot of centralized things. So just right out of the gate, one thing we've noticed is we build a domain for a network. It could be your WAN architecture. The cool thing nowadays is automation is built in, visibility is built in, and now there's an interesting item now where everybody's trying to throw AI in there to make it better. So before we had a lot of data in those systems, the problem was you might get 100 alerts today, but we didn't know what we should actually focus on. Nowadays, AI is trying to say, hey, there's 100 alerts, but there's actually 2 problems. You should go look at this one. The other interesting thing I've seen is we have these different pockets of the network. So we have a SD-WAN part of the network, and then we might have an automated data center, and then we might have a security platform. How do we help the client get common visibility, common monitoring across all these different domains? That's really the area we've been focused on working with clients. What I see from clients that have a modern architecture and we implement a modern architecture, a couple of the big benefits I see that I didn't necessarily expect right away. One of the most interesting ones is just the flexibility of these new architectures. It really helps out for things like doing acquisitions faster, doing them better, doing them more secure. Clients have really appreciated, this modern approach. So I'd say that's one of the big things. Another item we mentioned a lot is security. So we see that because we're security first, we make it a lot harder for the bad guy to easily get around the network. So I say that's pretty important. Then the other thing too is just availability. Like the network needs to be up, the infrastructure needs to be up, your apps need to be up. So this has been the flexibility of it, and just raw availability has been super important for our clients.